Welcome to the Human Design Rave Festival 2025.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our guests in our virtual space of the Human Design Rave Festival 2025. This year, we have an amazing cast, and we're so glad to have again join us Karen Sherwood and Nathalie Keijzer from the BG5 Institute and beyond, if I may say. And yeah, we're so thrilled to have you again with us and share your perspective of the coming times and of the business part of human design, which is probably the most practical part of human design. And yeah, welcome, welcome.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, and I'm really happy to collaborate with Karen in this journey we're going to do this time. Yeah.
So the festival this time takes place during 4 days, and we split it naturally to the four quarters. And we have the pleasure to have those lovely ladies take part in all four of the days with a beautiful lecture called Hero's Journey to Abundance: How to Thrive in 2025. Would you like to tell us some more about your offering?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mind if I start, Natalie?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So when we were putting this together, taking a look at what is up for 2025, I think it's going to be a very emotional journey. I'll say it that way. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And if you take a look at the human experiential way, it really maps out what the hero's journey is all about. And so I feel in 2025, it's going to require a bit of a hero's journey as we navigate the waves of the ups and downs. And when you can look at it from that perspective, it becomes an adventure versus, oh my God, what's happening? Are things falling apart? It's more of like, oh, how do I deal with it? Because you can deal with it in a much different way if you are the hero on this journey and it's simply an adventure.
Mhm.
I don't know, Natalie, if you want to add anything to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so yes, and we kind of go along with the themes of the quarters as well. So to have something about the mind on the first day, that's experiential, and letting go of those monkeys that are pulling us away. And then form, so civilization, the second day, that will be so the first day is experiential, it will be a workshop. We will literally do things like meditation, writing, breakouts. That is what we are kind of pulling together to really make it like an experience. The second day will be a lecture on how to use your form, what you have in store yourself, and your shop window. So what is your, your natural strengths and talents, but also what is your wisdom? What do you sell? So looking at profiting by being you, right? Being in alignment with who you are and what you are made for to connect with the world. And then maybe Karen, you can share the other two since that goes
Yes.
into yours. So I'll do form. My incarnation cross is also in form, and I am a generator. So that is the second day. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And then, when, taking a look at how do you profit by being you, then moving into, it's you can only profit so much by yourself. And the more that you are yourself and the more you are aligned with yourself, you're going to connect with others in a completely different way. So, of course, one of the big things about BG5 is taking a look at um, how you work best. Do you work best solo? Do you work best in partnership? Do you work best in small groups or pentas, or do you work good in large groups, which is the OC16? So we're actually going to do an experiment online to really give you the feel of what it's like to be in the different environments, specifically in partnership, in small groups and large groups. And often we say that really only, it don't really only happens in aura. However, we're going to do the experiment to also kind of prove that you can experience it as well online. It may not be as intense or as powerful as it is when you are in person and in aura, but what we have seen from our experience is that it does work online. And so we're
Yeah.
going to bring you through an experience of experiencing these different size groups online and see what arises and see how it shows up.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
so
sounds
that's the
exciting.
theme of bonding, experiential, and then the last day, the fourth day, that is
Yes.
yours again. So that ties into,
Exactly. And so having this experience of bonding and connecting and working together, moving into transformation. So my incarnation cross is in transformation. So we thought was beautiful that Nathalie would do a lecture during uh, form,
form.
and I would do it through transformation. And so it's really looking ahead and really this prosperity shift, because I see the future as very bright. And what is the change? What is the mutation? What to expect? And really tying it all together that if we look at it through the lens of being the hero's journey, you know, what we can celebrate at the end. And so really bringing forth that celebration and really accepting change, and which is really what transformation is all about.
Yeah, the only
So that's the journey. So in and of itself, we're taking a little hero's journey through the 4 quarters, and this is setting us up for the hero's journey throughout 2025 so we can truly thrive in 2025.
yeah, as the only constant is actually change,
Exactly.
transformation. And for those who know about 2027 and the global cycle changing, we call it the sleeping phoenix coming. We kind of expect, let's say, difficulties and turbulent times, which we already can sense in a way. I really love your perspective, Karen, also during your lecture in the Human Design Rave Festival 2024, where you shared with us that we should not be afraid of the change, but actually ride the wave and ride the transformation to bring our authenticity out there in the world. And we can already sense it. People do not feel good, or they cannot even follow through with jobs they don't like.
Yeah.
And less they can do that. Can you explain how come is this happening?
Yeah, so it's interesting if we take a look sort of at the big picture. And I'm going to be talking about this in my the final lecture as well in transformation. If we take a look at what the underlying transformation actually is, we're moving from a seven-centered mindset into a nine-centered mindset. So in a sense, our bodies have mutated into nine-centered beings, but our minds have not caught up yet. And so, really, what the transformation is all about is really stepping into taking, being able to access much more of our minds, being able to access much more of what is possible, actually realizing that we are also creators as well. When we're aligned with our design, it's almost like being able to see the matrix for what it is and to, in many respects, sort of transcend it or incorporate it or take advantage of it as opposed to it conditioning us and it taking advantage of us. So in many respects, it is being able to, that's one of the things, especially in taking a look at Penta and taking a look at OC16. Ra didn't like it very much because it's a very, very much a controlling agency. But when you understand and you're really truly aligned with yourself and you're connected to the right people, that's where magic can happen and huge transformation can happen. And it's an upgrade to our mental system, to our mind, in what we can. We're only using this much of our mind, which is infinite.
Yeah.
So it looks like we can be taking up everything to the next level, upgrading, and truly utilizing our full potential. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
And that's and what's scary is we're leaving behind the seven-centered mindset that we've grown up with, that we're used to. I often say, what if everything that we've been taught to believe is a lie? Then what?
Yeah. And
And
actually, mhm.
and so I think in the next couple of years, that's actually what we're going to be seeing as well.
Yeah,
Is a lot of the constructs, a lot of the conditioning that we so deeply believed in is starting to crumble. That's sort of the ashes that are crumbling. Is that everything we thought, everything we believed is shifting, is changing. And what emerges from those ashes is the phoenix, the awakened phoenix. And so I believe these next couple years are truly the awakening of humanity as well, that arising of the phoenix from the ashes.
Yeah, and with that, so Ra always said, know yourself, love yourself as the first step in that process, right? You really need to learn about yourself, and that's what we're going to do. Really take a look, inside at yourself, at your life, and etc. But the background frequency, which right now is very tribal, and the tribal glue will kind of evolve. How do you say that? Dissolve. It will
Dissolve.
go away. So we need to have some awareness. We will never be like consciously aware of it happening while it happens. We're not the new rave persons, right? We don't have that in ourselves. But for us to be able to map out the dynamics of what it is to collaborate in a team, collaborate in larger groups, then you can, because the new era will really be like, if you are authentically aligned, you will create bonds with those that really, are near and dear to your heart, but also in business. Like, we used to work in an office or in whatever, and you were just a number and you worked for a paycheck. And now you really want to do what you are drawn to, what you respond to, what you are invited for, right? Blah, blah, blah. But then from that, making true connections. And that is also in the locks and the keys. And knowing the information of BG5 and OC16, right? Knowing how we can collaborate because we don't have the glue anymore to do it for us. We have to really know how the dynamics and how to take advantage. Who has what talents, who has what gifts, how can we put these groups together and in another setting like this to really use the information that we actually got from Ra. So yeah, and so we're not worried. It's really awesome to really be able to map it all out and just see it happening before your very own eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about those people who are not so familiar with what does BG5 stand for and OC16, would you please, of course, you're more than welcome to look at our last year's recordings of those lectures, and you can still get them from the 2024 edition. And Karen had a marvelous lecture, and Nathalie actually had a real OC16 experiment live in Sofia, Bulgaria, which was super interesting and very,
Also,
yeah.
I heard from a lot of people that were online, because last year it was both live and online. And actually, well, Karen, you were online in my experiment. So it was kind of a, how do you say that? Such a live show, a real live show, kind of. So I was more of the reporter and had, the OC16 or the group that was doing the experiment were doing their thing. And I was just kind of sharing with the audience in Zoom what was happening, what I saw happening in the dynamic. So it is really that you can see, how this group that had to organize the evening program, how it all went down. And yeah, and there was a reflector there that every now and then I went to him. So what do you see? And, and it was really, really funny. And and Iowa Nistor, he did the BG5 experiment, so a penta experiment. So also very spot on in what you saw happening. Yeah. But to come back to your question, what BG5 stands for. So BG5 is base group 5. So a group of 3 to 5 people is actually a penta. And there is this group dynamics. As soon as you have 2 people and a third person comes in, it shifts to group dynamic. And then each company, small or big, are made out of these building blocks, these BG5 penta building blocks. So you have multiple teams, and as soon as you have 3 teams and a manager, we call it an alpha 1, then you have a large group dynamics, which is totally different. It takes use of everything in design, all 64 gates, but the penta has a very small area between the throat and the sacral, those 12 channels that it uses. And so, just building on with pentas and OC16, so little was, you create larger groups, gene groups. And OC16 actually stands for organizing channel, because there are leadership channels. That is how you lead large organizations through communication and education. And 16 stands for 3 groups of 5, which is 15, and a manager. So that is where it comes from, these words and indications. But yeah.
Well, thank you for explaining that. As we're all born in a family, which is a penta group, and all our lives we're part of groups. And when we enter the working world, the business world, one way or another, we kind of get stripped off from our all our qualities, let's say, and become part of the group. And in a way we lose ourselves, but in a way there is a way to gain something, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
With
so
awareness,
we're going to find out more about that. Is there anything else you would like to share or say?
I just love this festival.
Yeah.
I think it is such a beautiful way of bringing together consultants, instructors, practitioners, analysts. It is such a beautiful way to hear from each different person's perspective. And I think that's one of the things also, appreciating what this transformation is all about is really honoring the way that each person sees this information and the way that they communicate and deliver, because there's something for everyone. And what I particularly love about this year is adding the experiential part too, which I think is going to be absolutely brilliant. I am so excited for the fest and how it all comes together, and that you're also going to be doing a section of it live as well. So I hope to be able to join that also.
That potentially will be the first time we see each other. We've been working for like almost 10 years together, but only online and really close together. We've never met in person. I'm in the Netherlands and Karen is in Colorado in the United States. And then, yes, I totally agree. And I loved the festival last year, and all the contacts and the spirit of the festival is just awesome. And to give a little gimmick, I don't know what it will be exactly, because we are kind of creating it as we speak. But when you come to our workshops, you will also have something to take away. So we probably have like forms to fill out or whatever, so that after doing all of the, the 4 parts, you will have like a little whatever booklet of yourself, right? What you take away to thrive in 2025.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, ladies, for also sharing with us what the festival brought and how you see it. It's an amazing event. We do it with a lot of love. And we're really humbled by all the teachers and guides who are joining us on this journey to take you to your own hero's journey. So thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you soon, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay. Okay,
Bye.
bye
Looking forward to
everyone.
it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Human Design Rave Festival 2025. Get your ticket now.